My name is Chloe Bennett, and I'm 29 years old. For my entire life, I've been the family scapegoat. Last Tuesday, my older brother Ethan finally crossed the line. I woke up in the ER with 3 cracked ribs. As I fought to breathe through the fire in my chest, my mother Victoria leaned over me. She didn't ask if I was okay. She whispered, "Chloe, keep your mouth shut. He has a future." What she didn't know was that my doctor, Dr. Harper, had already seen the old bruises. She saw the pattern. And she wasn't just a doctor. She was a mandatory reporter. She picked up the phone. In that single moment, she didn't just launch a police investigation. She started the countdown that would expose a decade-old lie and drop a $60 million fortune straight into my hands. The fluorescent lights in the trauma bay blurred into white-hot streaks above me. Every beep of the monitor felt like a hammer against my skull. I tried to draw a breath, but the pain exploded through, my left side ripping. A sound from my throat I didn't recognize as human. "Chloe Bennett, 29-year-old female, blunt force trauma to the torso," a voice shouted. I was flying down the hallway on the gurney ceiling tiles, flashing past. My face was slick with tears and sweat, the copper taste of blood thick on my tongue. A nurse in navy scrubs leaned over me. "Chloe, stay with us. We're giving you something for the pain now." I tried to nod, but even that sent lightning through my ribs. The curtain ripped open. It wasn't the doctor. It was Ethan, looking flawless as always in a custom Tom Ford suit, not a hair out of place. His eyes were wild, darting to the door like a cornered animal. He started pacing, muttering, "Damn it, Chloe, damn it," under his breath. Then Victoria swept in, pearls gleaming face carved from ice. She didn't glance at the monitors. She looked straight at Ethan. "How many times have I told you to control your temper, Marcus, this week of all weeks? The Bennett Foundation Gala is Friday. The governor is coming." Ethan stopped pacing. "I didn't mean to." She just kept pushing, bringing up, "Lauren, when she knows I'm stressed, she knows the board is watching me." I tried to speak his name, but only a broken gasp came out. Victoria finally looked at me, her eyes arctic. This, she gestured at my shattered body, is an embarrassment. A new voice cut through the chaos. "Excuse me, I need to examine my patient." Dr. Harper, 40 sharp, intelligent eyes, took in the entire scene in one sweep. Me on the gurney, Ethan looking guilty, Victoria furious. Her expression hardened. "I'm Dr. Harper, Chloe. Can you tell me what happened?" Before I could answer, Victoria stepped forward, her face instantly crumpling into perfect maternal devastation. "Oh, doctor, thank you. It was a terrible accident. Chloe has always been so clumsy, she tripped at the top of the grand staircase at home and tumbled all the way down. We rushed her here as fast as we could." Ethan nodded vigorously, switching to concerned big brother mode. I tried to catch her, but it happened too fast. I watched Dr. Harper's eyes flick to my injuries, then to Ethan's spotless Italian leather shoes, then to Victoria's flawless makeup. She didn't buy a word of it. I locked eyes with her and rasped, "No hay." Victoria moved like lightning, leaning down to smooth my hair for the doctor's benefit while whispering through a smile, "Stay quiet. Chloe, he has a future. Do not ruin this for him." Later, in a quiet room, the heart monitors. Steady beep was the only sound. Dr. Harper pulled the stool close, holding a tablet. "Good news, no internal bleeding. Bad news, 3 cracked ribs here, and a hairline fracture in your right forearm." She turned the screen so I could see the cracks, glowing white on the x-ray. "I've been an ER doctor 16 years. Chloe falls downstairs usually give chaotic, scattered injuries. These rib fractures are from direct focused blows." And this, she gently lifted my gown sleeve, revealing faded finger-shaped bruises on my upper arm. "These are weeks old. Grip marks." I tried to pull away shame, burning my throat. She held my gaze steady. "Chloe, I'm a mandatory reporter in the state of Georgia. Your injuries today don't match the story. I was given, and these old bruises are textbook abuse. I need the truth. What really happened and what has been happening in that house? The words stuck in my throat like broken glass. She waited, patient and unshakable. I finally managed the smallest nod. She nodded back, expression turning to steel. That's enough for now. I'm calling hospital security and the social worker. You're safe. Just as she reached the door, it burst open again. Victoria and Ethan swept in, performing devastated family, now armed with a $3,000 bouquet and a giant teddy. Bear. Dr. Harper crossed her arms and watched the entire show without blinking. Victoria turned tearful eyes on her. Doctor, how is she? We feel just awful. It was such a terrible, clumsy accident. Ethan added the family. Has always supported this hospital we trust. You're giving her the very best care. It wasn't gratitude, it was pressure. Dr. Harper didn't flinch. She'll need a private consult with our social worker as standard procedure for significant domestic falls. Victoria's smile twitched. A social worker, really? We're her family. Hospital policy, Dr. Harper said smoothly, already halfway out the door. The second it shut, Victoria dropped the act. She's suspicious, she hissed at Ethan. The social worker is a problem. Ethan paced again. It's fine, Mom. She can't prove anything. It's our word against hers, and who's going to believe the unstable sister? Victoria turned to me, smile snapping back into place for any nurse passing the window. You understand, don't you, darling? Just a clumsy accident we were. Horsing around at the top of the stairs and you slipped. Then lower IC, you'll rest, and when that social worker comes, you'll tell her you can't wait to come. Home to your loving family. Do I make myself clear? I stared at the ceiling, pain throbbing in rhythm with my heartbeat. The door opened again. Officer Ramirez and Ms. Carter, the hospital advocate, stepped in. Victoria instantly morphed back into weeping mother. Officer Ramirez turned to me. Ma'am, is the account of tripping and falling accurate? Every eye burned into me. Victoria's gaze was a silent threat. I opened my mouth, nothing came out. Dr. Harper swept in like an avenging angel. I'm sorry, this interview will have to wait. Miss Bennett needs rest and a private consult per protocol. Family, you'll wait in the lounge. Victoria looked ready to explode but couldn't argue in front of police. They left. The door clicked shut. Dr. Harper and Miss Carter pulled close. You're safe now, Chloe, Miss Carter said softly. Tell us everything. Tears finally came. I didn't fall, I whispered. He pushed me. Dr. Harper immediately called security. No visitors without my direct approval, including Victoria and Ethan Bennett. Then she looked at me. We're just getting started. They found my phone in the pink case, passcode UO317, my late grandfather's birthday, the only person who ever truly saw me. Hidden inside a fake calculator, app labeled insurance, were dozens of photos, timestamps, bruises, audio files, and screenshots I'd collected for over a year. Ms. Carter's face went white as she scrolled. Dr. Harper looked physically sick listening to Ethan. Scream, you are a parasite. You are nothing without me. When Ms. Carter opened the text from Victoria, delete the photo and I'll add 600 to your allowance, both women went very still. This isn't your word against theirs anymore, Ms. Carter said, voice shaking with fury. This is evidence. We're calling the DA and getting an emergency protective order tonight. The protective order was served at the Bennett estate in Buckhead while Ethan poured whiskey and Victoria argued with the gala florist. When the process server handed Ethan the papers, his roar shook the crystal. Victoria went corpse pale, then ice cold. She was already on the phone, spinning the narrative. Psychotic break worst by hospital staff. The next day, Ethan's wife, Lauren Beautiful, blonde and vicious, slipped past. Security with a gift, basket the size of a small car. The moment the guard let her in, the mask dropped. Listen, you little brat, she hissed, you're going to call. Off your dogs and tell them you were confused, or I swear you'll regret it. She called me a parasite, jealous, pathetic. Then in her rage, she slipped he knew who was worthy. He gave everything to Ethan, not you. She realized her mistake too late and stormed out, laughing those bruises really clash with your complexion, sweetie. I stared at the closed door, heart racing. Not you. Why say it like that unless I had ever been an option? I called David Sterling, the lawyer Miss Carter recommended. The second I repeated Lauren's words, he went quiet, then electric. That's a hell of a slip, Miss Bennett. I'm heading to probate court at 9 tomorrow morning. Wills are public record. They can bury amendments, but never the original. 2 days later, he called me from the courthouse archives, voice crackling with victory. Chloe, your mother and brother didn't just lie, they committed probate fraud. The original will filed March 2015 splits. Bennett Development 60 million. At the time 50-50. Between Ethan Bennett and Chloe. Bennett with a morality clause, any felony conviction involving violence or fraud, and the guilty party forfeits their entire share to the other. I dropped the phone. I wasn't the spare, I was half owner of everything. They'd stolen 10 years of my life and my fortune. And Ethan, in his rage, had just assaulted his co-owner, triggering the exact clause that would make me the sole heir. 6 months later, the Bennett Foundation Gala was in full swing, crystal chandeliers, black ties, the governor at the head table. Ethan and Victoria stood on stage mid-speech, all polished lies and legacy. Then the double doors opened. Dr. Harper pushed my wheelchair down the center aisle. I wore midnight blue silk posture, perfect sling, black and elegant. The room went dead silent. Ethan leaned into the mic, voice venom. What the hell, security? I smiled, small and lethal. No need for security. Ethan, after all, I'm Chloe Bennett, 50% owner of the company sponsoring this event tonight. Gasps rippled like wildfire. Dr. Harper parked me center stage. I took the microphone. Good evening, everyone. My family told many of you I've been unwell, that I fell down the stairs. They worked very hard on that story. Unfortunately, lies have a short shelf life. I nodded. The screen behind us lit up with security. Footage dated 4 days before the hospital. Ethan screaming, parasite, shoving me into the mahogany desk, the sickening crack of my ribs, echoing through the ballroom. 300 of Atlanta's elite heard it, heard Victoria walk in and scold. Ethan, not for hurting me, but for doing it in the office. When the screen went black, you could have heard a pin drop. I let the silence do its work, then spoke again. My grandfather didn't leave the company to Ethan alone. He left it 50-50 with a morality clause. Tonight, Ethan triggered that clause. The company is now mine alone. The governor stood first, then the pastor, then every donor in the room. In 4 minutes, the ballroom was empty. The Bennett legacy didn't just crack, it shattered. Today I sit at the head of the boardroom table, plaque reading, Chloe Bennett, CEO and sole owner. Dr. Harper reviews. Trauma Center blueprints beside me. Ms. Carter heads our new foundation. My phone buzzes sometimes, Victoria or Ethan from prison. I decline every call. The past is over. I'm not the scapegoat anymore. I'm the future, and I'm just getting started.